Gandang hapon po. Nahuli ako ng 6 minutes, naloko na. Alright, gandang hapon po. Nahuli ako ng merong feedback from my YouTube channel. Alright, this is a class in philosophy of science. Alright, everyone, there are only 11 of you so far. We'll wait for everybody else, but meanwhile, let's talk about some things about our Google Classroom unit. I can see there are only 9 of you at the moment. There should be 20 of you. Nahuli kasi yung announcement. I'm so sorry. I'm using the same channel. So as I am using the same channel, I have very little time to announce to everyone between my last class, which is 1 to 2:30, and my subsequent class, which is 2:30 to 4. And that happens to be you. So at the moment, there are only 13 of you. We're still away for 7 of you. Meanwhile, like I've said, there might be occasions like this. I hope this is the last, but it could be that there would be other occasions like this where I will not be able to right away go on live. Now, that should not be devastating because you can review the lecture. All right? Let me stand up. I don't like sitting down when I give a lecture. Okay. So, one, we have to tell everyone about what's going on regarding the broadcast. Ideally, our broadcast will be one with StreamYard, as you can see on your screen right now. And two, it should be on YouTube. And three, it should be on Facebook. All right. Now, StreamYard, YouTube, Facebook. At the moment, I am not able to use the Facebook live streaming because yesterday morning, someone tried to hack into my Facebook account, and I've been advised by Facebook administrators to be worried about what's going on. So we are suspending the Facebook account. We are suspending the Facebook account live streaming. Excuse me, just a moment. Okay. I'm trying to monitor myself because I had problems earlier. Okay. I had problems earlier with the other class. The reason why late ako ngayon kasi I'm trying to avoid the problems we had earlier this afternoon. All right. So, wala tayong Facebook. Before anything else, let me ask everybody, the 13 of you who are now online, let me ask, is there anyone among you who does not understand Filipino? How do you answer me? You go to our, all right, let me go screen sharing. You go to our Google Google Classroom account, and this is where you give your comments. Under our public lectures YouTube announcement, comments here, please. All right. Now, my first question is there anyone among you who does not understand Filipino? Because if there is at least one of you who does not understand Filipino, then I'm bound to give my lectures in English, pure English. Pwede naman, I can do that. Kaya lang baka dumugo yung aking ilong. So, I'm now going to speak in lingua franca, meaning to say a mixture of English and Filipino. If I see any comment, all right, if I see any comment that tells me, okay, salamat, Miss Ramirez, buti na lang. If I see any comment that tells me here on our streaming with our Google Classroom unit, if I see anybody complaining, sir, I don't understand Filipino, so please speak in English. Okay, I will. Okay, meanwhile, wala naman ako nakikita ng comment, so far so good. So let's go on with our lingua franca. Dito tayo. Yan. Okay. So, ang gagawin natin, may live stream sa StreamYard, may live stream sa Facebook, although suspended for now, at may live stream sa YouTube. Now, kung ma-miss ninyo, kagaya niyan, 13 lang tayo ngayon, there should be 20 of you. Kung ma-miss ninyo yung lecture, walang problema. Kasi, kaya StreamYard ang ginagamit ko kasi sinesave nila yung broadcast. After saving the broadcast, tuloy-tuloy ang broadcast made available to the public for 7 days. So you have 7 days to catch up. Alright? Binabayaran ko yan, kaya dapat gamitin ninyo. Kung hindi nyo masyadong naintindihan yung ating diskusyon, i-review ninyo. Pwede nyo i-review sapagkat available for the next 7 days na panoodin nyo uli kung may time kayo. Alright? That's the reason why I'm using StreamYard. So that people who miss, for example, the first part of the lectures, you can go back to the streaming on YouTube saved by StreamYard and you can go for the first part or the portion of the lecture that you've missed. Alright? So, now how is the participation going to be? Not everyone is comfortable with being live on YouTube, especially if it's broadcast all over the world. Ang broadcast natin, miski itong nakakahiya kong itsura na ito, broadcast sa buong mundo. Wala tayong magagawa. Yan ang mas available to the public. Yan ang gamitin natin. Alright? So, itong StreamYard, ang gagawin natin, what we will do, I will invite 10 of you at a time. I cannot require everybody to be part of the live streaming. Why? Because I am not sure if everybody is comfortable with it. I am not sure if everybody is ready for it. Ako nga, hindi ako ready, kaya lang, wala akong choice. Eto, dito na tayo. Alright? So what we will do, next meeting, I will invite 10 of you. Hopefully, after inviting 10 of you, some of you, if not all of you, will participate live. Alright? Live sa StreamYard. In that case, wala tayong masyadong problema sa participation. And then the following meeting, I will invite another 10. Another 10 of you to be part of the live streaming. Then, after a while, everybody becomes used to it, becomes comfortable with it, then everybody becomes part of the live streaming. Alright? Ngayon, ako lang. Ito nga, ako lang ang haba-haba ng buhok. Nakita niyo naman yung photograph ko last semester, ha? Photograph yun last semester lang. And after 1 semester, ito na itsura ko. After so much stress, stress na stress ako kasi dami na nga nating problema dito sa UP. Nakatapos nag-volunteer kami kasi meron akong isang information communication technology company na tumutulong sa bayan. Gumawa kami ng isang app para sa bayan. I'll tell you about it later. Yung pagtulong namin, very stressful. Daming politics involved. Tapos, humingi pa ng tulong ang Department of Education. Sabi sa amin, pahingi naman ng tulong. Pwede ba, Prof, gumawa ka ng libro in 2 months time, tapos mag-webinar tayo all over the Philippines for 23 million Filipinos. 2 months, 1 book, philosophy of sport, kailangan natin. Ako ba naman hindi sa mga challenges, di tanggap ang challenge. Ito ngayon, tumanda ng pagkabilis-bilis sa loob ng 2 buwan. Alright, so back to our discussions. Not all of us are comfortable with live streaming, so we'll take it one step at a time. So next meeting, I'll invite 10 of you to the live stream. The following meeting, I'll invite another 10, and then later we invite more as we go along. Alright? Meanwhile, for now, we just have to do with participation via our comments on our Google Classroom unit. All right, let me share with you the screen. Here it is. All right, make your comments here. All right, si Mr. Cuevas, I understand Filipino, very good. Buti na lang. Sana naman lahat kayo. Kung merong mag-complain ha, okay, complaints here. Complain. All right, participate here, please. All right. Yan muna. Next meeting, dadagdagan ko pa yung ating venue, hindi lang sa meron tayong capacity na mag-comment dito sa Google Classroom, capacity na mag-comment sa YouTube broadcast. Pwede kayo mag-comment dyan basta mag-sign in lang kayo. Pwede kayo mag-comment sa YouTube broadcast, and of course, those who are invited, pwede kayong mag-participate live doon sa StreamYard beginning. Ngayon, dadagdagan ko yung mga venues na yan. Ano yung dagdag? In-announce ko na sa inyo yung Mentimeter. Next meeting, gagamit tayo ng Mentimeter para nabibilang natin yung mga sagot ninyo. Kasi maganda rin naman na nakikita natin how many of us answer this way, how many of us answer that way, and so on and so forth. Malaking tulong yun. Part of philosophy of science. Part of our science exploration. Alright? So, next meeting maggagawa na kayo ng account sa Mentimeter. Alright. Meanwhile, dito lang muna tayo. Okay. May attendance sheet form po ba? Yan na nga ang susunod kong sasabihin. May kagaling naman. By the way, ako may punto kasi Batanggenyo ako. Excuse me, uminom lang ako kasi pag matanda ka na, mabilis ma-dehydrate Alright, meron tayong attendance. As you can see here, alright, hindi ko palang ginawang pero this is our attendance check. Kasi hinihintay nga nating dumating kayo lahat. We're expecting 20 of you So far ang dumadating pa lang dito sa atin ay ilan? 17. Alright, so tama yan. Good question. Attendance form. Alright. Importante ang attendance. Bakit? Bakit importante ang attendance? Tingnan nyo naman kung bakit. Alright. Ay, by the way, ito itsura ko, Itsura ko yan last sem. 1 semester lamang ng outbreak. Ito na ngayon ang itsura ko ngayon. Mahaba ang buhok. Oh my God. Yung mga details na yan, nakita nyo na siguro yan. Binigay ko sa inyo yan, Now, let me focus your attention here. Yan. Anyone absent during 20% or more of the class sessions is going to be given a grade of 5. Tinanong mo kasi, di sagutin ko ngayon. Well, actually, bago mo ako tinanong, ibibigay ko na sana. Thank you for the comment. Ngayon, may dahilan bakit ganyan tayo sa UP. That's a university rule. Yung lahat ng university faculty manual, makikita nyo, importante ang attendance. Bakit? Kasi kayo are scholars of the nation. Scholar kayo ng bayan. Anong gustong sabihin? Merong investment sa inyo ang bayan. Investment in terms of time, money, effort, and in the case of mga teacher kagaya namin, sacrifice. Alam nyo, yung isang kaibigan namin kahapon, faculty member ng college, pumanaw na kahapon. Passed away, ika nga. And given the experience, medyo nakakapagdalawang isip sa pagtuturo. Bakit? Pwede palang mangyari na ikaw ay napakagaling na profesor, napakahusay at napakalaki ng utang na loob ng UP. Pagkatapos pag nag-retire ka na, wala ka man lang perang pangbayad sa ospital mo pagka na-COVID. Bakit? Alam nyo ba kung gaano kalaki ang gastos pag na-hospital kayo? Yung aming kasangbahay na isa na COVID, hindi naman sa bahay namin, basta matagal nang wala sa amin. Nabalita namin na COVID. Aba yung ilang araw, 3 araw lamang niya sa ospital, 600,000 ang gastos. Pagka ikaw inabot na 1 buwan, naloko na. Ang mga profesor, hindi namin kayang magbayad ng ospital pag ganun katagal. Mangyayari, maghihintay na lang kami ng kamatayan dahil wala naman kaming pambayad. So, pag magturo kayo sa UP, malaking sakripisyo. Kung magtuturo ang isang profesor sa UP, pupunta ng Lasal, alam nyo ba, doble agad ang sweldo. Lalo na kung pupunta ng Amerika. Ako, yung aking 5 mga kapatid, 100% nasa Amerika. 100% na aking mga pamangkin, walang exception, nasa Amerika. Tatay at nanay ko, doon na tumanda, doon na rin namatay. Walang exception. Yung pagtitiis dito sa Pilipinas, tapos nasa UP ka pa, naku, naloko na. Kahirap. So, may investment. May investment tayo sa inyong mga estudyante. Investment ng bayan. Taxes ng bayan pumunta sa inyo, pera. Tapos, time. Tapos, money, effort. Pagkatapos, sakripisyo. Pagkatapos, ano mangyari? Pinabayaan nyo lamang yung pagkakataon. Wala kayong natutunan. Absent kayo ng absent. Parang may pera sa harap mo, sinunog. Walang nakinabang. Parang may bahay sa harap mo, sinunog, walang nakinabang. Wag naman. Sa ibang bayan, ang mga naglulustay ng resources ng bayan, pinapatay. Dito sa UP, ang ginagawa, binibigyan lang ng 5. Ang resources ng bayan, not enough for everyone. Ang resources ng bayan, parang blanket, kumot, hinila mo sa kabila, may nawala ng kumot doon sa kabilang dulo. Ang life expectancy dito sa Metro Manila ay Alright. Usap tayo ng masinsinan. Ang life expectancy dito sa Metro Manila, 69. 69. Ang Philippines at large, kung di ako nagkakamali, ay 63 for females and 62 for males. Bakit importante? Ihambing ninyo. I-compare ninyo sa life expectancy ng taga-Muslim Bangsamoro region na pagkagulo-gulo for a long time. Lalo na ngayon sa Marawi, nawalang hiya pa natin. Ang life expectancy sa Bangsamoro ay 44 plus. Hindi man lang umabot ng 45. Sagarin na natin 45. 45 compared to 69, malaking diferensya. 1/3 of their lives gone simply because they are born by misfortune into such a place. Place na nawawalang hiya nga natin. Hindi naman doon lamang Doon sa amin sa Batangas, by the way, mapapansin nyo, marami akong punto. Doon sa amin sa Batangas, ay may ganyan din May mga bundok sa amin na ang mga tao ay hirap na hirap. Now, dito sa UP campus, pag minsan magpalit tayo ng kalsada, akala mo nagpapalit ng sapatos maraming places all over the Philippines, including dyan sa Cordillera Autonomous Region, hindi man lang nakakita ng kalsada sa buong henerasyon nila So, maliwanag. Meron tayong resources, ginagastos para sa inyo. Pag yan ay nilustay ninyo, may katapat. Buti, hindi kayo napapatay. Sa ibang bansa, pinapatay eh. Dito ang katapat nyo, 5. Alright? Let me get back to our rule. Anong rule natin? Everyone absent during 20% or more of the class sessions is going to be given a grade of 5. Pero, rationable naman tayo. Bakit? Eh, pagka naman ikaw ay may excuse from being absent, ay bibigyan ka ng makeup exam. O imbis na bibigyan ka ng grade of 5, bibigyan ka ng grade of drop. Kasi kung hindi ka naman makakahabol na sa klase, hindi na posible, edi drop na lang kaysa 5. Alright? Pero, dapat maliwanag. Yung excuse, hindi ka pareho ng mere justification. Alam nyo, yung presidente natin, mahusay gumawa ng justification. Pinakang bagong justification, eh kaya naman pinardon yan si Pemberton para pagka meron ng COVID vaccine dun sa Amerika tayo agad ang bibigyan. Ba? Magandang justification. Pero ladies and gentlemen, yun nga ang sinasabi natin. Kahit na magbigay ka pa ng sangkatutak na justification, does not necessarily mean merong excuse. Ikaw ay varsity player, kunyari, basketball. Tapos merong star player ka ng basketball. Pagkatapos, merong crucial game. Yung game naman natapat sa examen. May problema ka ngayon. Play the game or take the exam. Eh kaso, crucial ang exam. Crucial ang game. Baliktad. Crucial ang game. Bakit crucial ang game? Pag nanalo ng game, champion na tayo sa basketball. Pag nanalo ng championship sa basketball, overall champion tayo sa UAAP. Diba? Importante pagka ganyan ng pagkakataon. Problema. Bakit? Eh kasi nga, may exam eh. So sabihin na lang natin, ikaw nagpakabayani. Kumuha ka ng examen. Pagkuha mo na, baliktad. Ikaw nagpakabayani. You play the game. Yan. Alright? Gutom na ako. Sandali inom lang ako. Alright, let's get back to what we're talking about. So, here you are, the varsity player. There's a crucial game. Kailangan mong mamili. Maglaro ng game o kumuha ng exam. Ang pinili mo, nagpakabayani ka, maglaro ng game. Tapos nanalo. Naging basketball champion ang UP. Dahil naging basketball champion, naging UAAP champion ng UP overall. Ay di bayani ka nga. O ay di congratulations, pati ako magko-congratulate. At kung may pera ako, baka bibigyan ko pa kayo ng pizza. Padadalan ko yung buong team. But the point is, kahit na i-congratulate ko kayo, 5 ka pa rin. 0 sa examen. Bagsak. Bakit? Eh pinili mo you made the decision. When you make a decision, wala naman nagsabi sa'yo, pag hindi mo ginawa yan, babarilin ka namin Alright? Ang ibig sabihin ng excuse, 1, meron kang justification, acceptable by university standards. And in addition, meron pa. Hindi lang justification. In addition, the case involved is a situation where the student has no choice at all. Halimbawa, nasagasaan ka ng tren. Eh, nung nasagasaan ka ng tren, anong sabi mo? Take me to UP. Take me to UP, please. I have an exam. Take me to UP, have an exam. Eh, kaso, imbis na dinala ka sa UP, dinala ka sa ospital. Hindi ka naman makapunta na UP on your own. Bakit? Eh, nasagasaan ka, putol ang dalawang paa mo. Eh, paano ka pupunta na UP? O, eh, di excuse ka. Excuse me. Or, kunyari, katulad ko, mukha kang sino. Akala nila kayo may kwarta. Pagkatapos, kinidnap ka. Tapos, binaong ka sa lupa, 6 feet underground. Miski magpagulong-gulong ka ron sa ilalim ng lupa, hindi ka makakuha ng examen, excuse ka pa. Kung buhay ka pa. Excuse ka nga kung buhay ka pa. But the point is, there you go. Ang ibig sabihin, you have an excuse if 1, there is a justification involved acceptable to the university, and 2, given the situation, there is no way you can have a choice but to be absent. Wala ka talagang choice. Alright? Kaso, yung example natin, yung basketball player, may choice naman siya. Yun nga lang, masakit. Kasi kung umabsent siya sa ball game, di masisisi siya ng kaibigan niya. Pero remember, ginagastusan tayo ng bayan para nga doon sa ating mga academic accomplishment. Alright? Marami nang mahusay mag-basketball dyan sa labas, pero hindi kagaya ng sa atin, hindi lahat ng tao mahusay sa academic performance kagaya ng UP. Alright? Number 65 nga tayo out of 500 universities all over Asia. Alright? Kasama tayo sa top 500 universities ng buong mundo. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 200 something. 227. Alright? So, may inaasahan sa atin ang bayan. Huwag nating i-disappoint. Alright? Bawal ma-disappoint ang bayan sapagkat napakarami na niyang disappointment. So, tandaan ninyo, hindi lahat ng pagkakataon na pwede kayong magbigay ng justification acceptable. Yung presidente natin, puro justification na binibigay at sinasabi, yan si Department of Health Secretary ay ganito, ganyan, kaya hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin. Isipin nyo naman, nagsimula tayo ng iisa lamang na may sakit noong January 30. Ngayon, 240,000 na. Imagine nyo next year. Tapos sasabihin sa atin, pagdating ng Disyembre, promise, meron na tayong vaccine. Maniwala kayo sa akin. Okay, pag-usapan natin yan mamaya. Kasama yan sa ating discussion. Yan. So far, so good. Meron ba kayong mga comments? Tingnan nga natin kung may comments kayo din. Hi, sir. Okay, I understand Filipino. Complain, participate. Oo nga, ako nagsulat noon. Sir, may attendance sheet pa. Yan, nilagay ko na nga, ha? Okay, so far, so good. Everybody can understand Filipino. Yung walang access sa Google Classroom, get in touch with me uli. You already know my number. Yung nagpadala naman ako sa inyo ng text. So, I sent you SMS, text messages, so you can get in touch with me via dyan. Ayusin natin yung hindi makaparticipate sa Google Classroom. Actually, pwede namang walang Google Classroom kasi yung lahat na binigay ko sa Google Classroom, pwedeng ipadala ko by email. Pwede yan. Tapos, ang gagawin na lang natin ay ang participation mo, kung ikaw ay hindi talaga makapag-Google Classroom, ay via 1, yung YouTube comments, and 2, yung Mentimeter. That's the reason kaya meron tayong Mentimeter. Beginning next meeting, meron tayong Mentimeter. So marami tayong combination ng participation para nga hanggat maaari, lahat makakaparticipate. Okay? Yung hindi makakaparticipate talaga in any way, ay di i-recommend ko na lamang na pumunta sa ibang klase. Pero ang participation natin ay 1, dyan sa Google Classroom, 2, dyan sa Mentimeter, 3, sa StreamYard, pagkakasama kayo dun sa live broadcast, at 4, dun sa Google chat comments section. YouTube class comments, YouTube comments section. Alright, chat and comments section. Alright, balik tayo dun sa kanina. Tingnan ko lang kung sino yung comment. Okay, salamat Miss Patty Rivera. Alright. Okay. Now, tuloy natin yung usapan natin ha. Pinag-uusapan natin yung course objective. Balik tayo din Ay, teka, mali itong nilagay ko dito. Iba yung ating course objective sa Philosophy of Science. Natatandaan nyo, pinadalahan ko kayo ng course pack. Alright? Tingnan nyo sa course pack. Nasaan na yun? Nawala. Ito. Alright. Ito yung course pack natin. Okay. Let me put that on full screen. Course pack. Okay. Hopefully you can see that on screen. Now let me read. For those of you who cannot read on the screen, this is our course objective. At the end of the semester, the student should have enough understanding of the nature and limits of science. Now, what is science? We'll deal with that definition later. All right, at the end of the semester, the student should have enough understanding of the nature and limits of science as to be able to cite examples of philosophical analysis. So, ang assumption dito, kumuha kayo ng Philo 1. Or better yet, Philo 1 or Philo 11. Or better yet, Philo 1 and Philo 11. So, at the end of the semester, you should have enough understanding of the nature and limits of science as to be able to cite examples of philosophical analysis involving science. Now, may specific areas tayo na gusto. In the specific areas of logic, mathematics, physics, biology, political science and economics, information theory, and artificial intelligence. Ayos ang buto-buto. Alright? Dun sa inyong mga philo major, marami kayong mapipick up dito sana, hopefully, na pwede nyong gamitin sa inyong thesis. Doon sa nasa psychology, ay, well, baka may mapulot kayo pagdating doon sa artificial intelligence and information theory. Ang information theory at artificial intelligence, mapakalaki ng impluwensya sa practice of psychology. And of course, yung ating pag-uusapan sa biology, baka magamit na rin. Although hula ko, marami sa inyong nagsa-psychology, sa totoo lang, ang balak ninyo ay mag-doktor. Tama ba? Tama ba yung hula ko? Sa inyong mga psychology majors, gusto nyo mag-doktor. Kung mag-doktor kayo, yung pag-uusapan natin sa biology, magagamit ninyo. Tsak yan. Promise. Alright? If you go into the medical sciences, our discussions in biology may be very useful for you. Especially these days, given the new technologies involved. Alright. So, balik tayo dun sa usapan natin. Alright, balik tayo sa usapan natin ng course objective. Alright, now, excuse me. As you look at our course pack, you will see all the way to the first exam. Kailan yung first exam? 16. 16th day. Day 16, first examination. So, there will be 15 days before your first examination. 15 lectures. Now, those 15 lectures will involve only at the from day 1 ngayon. From day 1 all the way to day 15, ang pag-uusapan natin ay actually moving along the direction of understanding science in general. We will try to get hold of what science in general is, especially science that has been known from the 20th and the 21st century perspectives. You have 20th and 21st century perspectives. And these perspectives with regards to science, we want to investigate. All right? And as we investigate the nature of science itself, including the scientific method, hopefully makikita natin yung limits niya. And when we get to understand the limits, that's the time we get to understand philosophy and philosophizing of science. All right. Philosophy of science. Tanong. Okay. Kayo naman ay marami ang course ninyo ay Bachelor of Science of something. Bachelor of Science of something. Unang tanong ko dito sa ating comment section. Alright. Nag-announce tayo ng YouTube public lectures. Ano? Dito yung comments nga natin. Ito yung unang tanong ko. Any one of you taking up Bachelor of Science courses? Any one of you taking Bachelor of Science course required ba kayo ng pag-aralan pag-aralan ng nature of science at large? Some specific tasks you need to take up other than philosophy of science? Yan ang tanong. Kasi sa pagkakaalam ko, hindi required ang philosophy of science sa lahat na nag-aaral ng political science. Sa pagkakaalam ko, sa buong College of Engineering, hindi required ang pag-aaral ng philosophy of science. Sa pagkakaalam ko, hindi required ang pag-aaral ng philosophy of science sa buong College of Science. Ang tanong, bakit kayo kukuha ng philosophy of science? Delikado pa kayo, masing ko dito pag napa-absent kayo ng sobra-sobra. Big question. Required kayo, by the way, sa Diliman lang ha, hindi required sa buong UP system. Required kayo na mag-STS. Alam niyo ba kung bakit na-require sa UP Diliman ng STS? Hulaan niyo kung sino yung person, individual, nakipagdebate nung, kung di ako nagkakamali, 2010. Nakipagdebate dun mismo sa chancellor ng UP who used to be the Dean of the College of Science. Anong debate? Dapat i-require ng STS. Sino may sabi? Alam na. Hindi ba nakakatawa yan? Nagdidebate kami sa harap ng mga profesor, mga doktor at kung sino-sino. Ay yung chancellor na nagkataon naman na bago naging chancellor ay dean ng College of Science. Ay dinidebate ko. Ay si Professor De Villa ay pipitsugin, nakikipagdebate. Ano yung debate? Dapat dito sa UP, kung hindi man UP system, UP Diliman, required ang pag-aaral ng Science, Technology, and Society. Ay panalo ako. Kaya lang sa Diliman lang. Ang buong UP system hindi required. Matigas ang ulo ng mga taga-Diliman. Bakit? Kasi pag nag-STS kayo, that's the closest thing you can get na matutunan ninyo yung nature and limits of science, including ethics and moral issues involving science. Pag tinanggal ninyo ang STS sa requirement ng UP, ang ating mga technologists and scientists and technocrats gagraduate walang alam tungkol sa moral and ethical issues involving science. Kaya ni-require dito sa UP Diliman. Panalo ako. Ngayon, itong philosophy of science, required yan kung hindi ako nagkakamali sa psychology. Bakit? Kasi ang umimbento ng psychology department ay galing sa aming department. Si Dr. Lagmay. Kilala niyo ba yan? Dr. Armando Lagmay, tatay ni Mahar. Alright? Nung una, walang psychology department sa UP. Inimbento yan ng department namin. Actually, nung una, wala tayong School of Economics. Yung School of Economics, yung economics ay ang tingin nila noon, hindi science. Buti na lang, may isang philosophy teacher, pinagpilitan yan. So, inimbento ng philosophy department natin, yung School of Economics. Tapos, inimbento rin yung, kung ano-ano pa. But the point is, importante, palagay ko, matututunan nyo at the end of this course, na kailangan natin ng philosophy of science. Any school that does not know its philosophy of science can only produce technocrats and technologists. They have no way to claim that they are producing scientists. That's my fearless declaration. A scientist, precisely because he is a scientist, he has to know the nature and limits of science. Yan. Ngayon, yung unang kalahati ng ating pag-aaral ng philosophy of science is all about the nature and limits of science. Yung susunod na kalahati, doon naman papasok na knowing the nature and limits of science, what are the issues facing us today? Halimbawa, maliwanag, malaking issue tayo ngayon sa environment. Napakalaki. Bagamat hindi ko pa isinasama dyan sa ating target, pero pag nag-usap tayo about philosophy of biology, pag-uusapan natin environment. Pag nag-philosophy of biology kayo, papasok ang problems sa environment. Ano pa? Maliwanag. Nanalo si Bolsonaro ng Brazil. Maliwanag, nanalo si Donald Trump sa US. Maliwanag, nanalo si Duterte sa Pilipinas. Bakit? Ginamitan ng information communication technology. Pagdating dyan, maraming issues and science na very philosophical. Pagdating saan? Paggamit ng artificial intelligence. Pag-uusapan din natin yan. Alright, so, ang una muna, kabisaduhin natin, yung unang kalahati, yung nature and limits of science. Pagkabisado natin yan, papasok tayo dun sa mga kaguluhang mga nangyayari sa science. Now, ito yung tanong. Paano nyo nalalaman kung magulo o hindi magulo? How do you know you have a problem when you see one? Pipisil-pisilin mo, aamoy-amoyin mo, titikman mo, Trish, ito ay problema nga ito, tikman mo din. What is your measure of a problem? What is your measure of a problem in science? What's your measure of a problem in physics or mathematics? Share ako sa inyo ha, may homework tayo. Alright, bago ituloy ang usapan natin, may homework kayo. Bakit? Ayan, basahin nyo tungkol sa ancient Greece. Excuse me, umiinom ako ng tubig dahil nadi-dehydrate na ako. In particular, pag-aralan nyo ancient Greek civilization. Ang recommended readings ko ay una, itong Encyclopedia Britannica, and kung may time pa kayo, pati itong Wikipedia. Sa totoo lang, pag pumunta kayo dito sa ating course pack, pag pumunta kayo rito, meron din akong material dito na pwede nyong gamitin. Alright? Dito sa course pack natin, merong material dito, by the way, yan, ang dami yung audiovisual material pwedeng panoorin, kasama dyan yung sa Ancient Greek Civilization. Meron din tayo mga text material, pero saka na muna yan. Alright? But dito, meron tayong appendix. Yan. Yung appendix, kinuha yan doon sa libro na na-publish ko noong 1991. Ako, hindi pa kayo pinapanganak. Singaw pa lang kayo sa lupa. Alright. Noong 1991, I was asked to write a textbook that would be required for the study of philosophy, in particular, social political philosophy sa lahat ng mga universities outside UP. Well, hindi naman lahat, pero napakadami. And excerpt ito doon. Pinag-uusapan ko dyan yung philosophy, ayan, i-highlight natin. Science, i-highlight natin, at democracy. Ang inyong homework, pwedeng basahin nyo itong aking isinulat na ito, mahaba yan, o basahin nyo itong Ancient Greece sa Wikipedia, o basahin nyo itong Ancient Greek Civilization sa Encyclopedia Britannica. In particular, gusto nating maintindihan ninyo, hopefully, dahil nagbasa kayo, yung relationship between, on one hand, the ancient Greek civilization, and how it has come to invent democracy, and more importantly, how it has come to invent philosophy together with democracy. Kasi sa ating mga discussions, lalabas at lalabas na ang philosophy hindi na imbento siguro, malamang-lamang hindi na imbento kung hindi na imbento ang democracy. Now, ang isang question paano naman nangyari na na-imbento yung democracy? Bakit hindi sa China na-imbento? Bakit hindi doon sa India na-imbento? Bakit uniquely doon na-imbento sa ancient Greece? Baka naman nagsisinungaling lamang yung ating mga writers na in fact, ang democracy ay uso naman sa ibang bayan, hindi lamang natin binibigyan ng pansin. Pag-uusapan natin yan. Pero from my point of view, isinulat ko nga yan sa libro, na lumalabas, very unique ang ancient Greek civilization, and especially unique dahil na-imbento niya ang democracy as we know it and philosophy as we know it. Later on, as we shall see, yung foundation ng democracy and philosophy, yan ang magiging platform from where, in addition later, magkakaroon ng invention ng science. So, ang mangyayari, pag hindi natin maintindihan yung nature ng democracy and nature ng philosophy at as these have been invented by the ancient Greeks, parang hindi natin siguro masyadong ma-appreciate ng kumpleto yung advent of science in the 15th century. In the 16th century, 1500s. Alright? So, may homework agad. Now, balik tayo sa usapan natin ng ancient Greece. Mapapansin ninyo na sa Quezon Hall ay maliwanag na maliwanag ang itsura parang ancient Greek temple. May malapad na steps, may pagkalalaking mga columns. Ganon din, kung susundan ninyo, makikita ninyo yung designs ng Melchor Hall ng College of Engineering at saka ng Palma Hall natin, College ng Social Science and Philosophy, ay ganun din, inspired na ancient Greek structures. Pag pumunta kayo doon sa mga ibang detalye ng College of Law at ibang mga detalye ng College of Education, makikita niyo mga Greek inspiration din. Bakit ganun? Pag pumunta kayo sa National Museum. Yung National Museum ngayon, yung pagkakatayo niya noong unang panahon, ay maliwanag na maliwanag, inspired din ng ancient Greeks. May mga step din nga at columns. Yan ay dating seat ng Senate ng Philippines. Inilipat lamang. Okay? Pag pumunta kayo sa United States, yung Senate Hall nila, ganyan din ang itsura. Greek structures ang itsura. Pag pumunta kayo doon sa Parliament Hall ng British Parliament, ganun din. Ang inspiration nila, mga Greeks din. Bakit kamo? Kasi yung ancient Greek civilization, yan ang foundation ng Western civilization. Yan. Ito ngayon ang tanong. Bakit baga importante yung ancient Greek civilization. Alright, by the way, ako ay Batanggenyo, kaya every once in a while ay lalabas yung aking punto. Pag minsan ako'y nadudulas ang dila ay nagpupuputak ako, pasensya na kayo ha, kasi ang mga Batanggenyo talagang mahilig magmumura minsan eh. Alright, ngayon, balik tayo dito sa ating pinag-uusapan, yung ating course pack. Nasaan na? Okay. Ito ang course pack natin na ito. Makikita ninyo. Ngayon, day 1, objective pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? Basahin natin, ha? Uli. At the end of the semester, the student should have enough understanding of the nature and limits of science as to be able to cite examples of philosophical analysis involving science in the areas of logic, mathematics, physics, biology, political science, economics, information theory, and artificial intelligence. Saan nanggaling ang science? Ang claim natin, Western civilization ang umimbento ng science. Kaya ang sinasabi natin, yung ating day 2, pag-uusapan natin ancient Greeks, kaya yan ang homework ninyo. Now, what makes Western civilization unique? Bakit ba unique yan? Alright? Sandali lang ha. Punta tayo din sa mga ancient Greeks. Hindi ko ipe-play yung video, pero kita niyo yung mga columns, ano? Yan sa litrato. Yan sa video freeze. Okay. Ancient peoples. Question. Wala ba kayong napapansin pagka ang mga Pilipino bumoboto? Pag ang Pilipino bumoboto, hindi nyo ba napapansin na ang hinahanap nila mga sugo ng Diyos? Tama ba ako mali? Sige nga, tingnan natin sa inyo. Baka naman nagkakamali ako. Tingnan ko nga kung may magko-comment sa inyo. Tanong. Tama, mali? Tama o mali? Ang mga Filipino, kapag bumoboto, ang hanap ay mga sugo ng Diyos. Filipinos at large. Miss kita kayupi. Tama mali? Tingin nga ako kung meron kayong sasagot. Ay, tama si Mr. Ramirez. Miss Ramirez. Alfredo Lagmay. Nabanggit ko kanina, Armando Lagmay. Sorry. Alfredo Lagmay. Si Dr. Alfredo Lagmay, national scientist, siya ang nagtayo ng psychology department. Pero si Dr. Alfredo Lagmay, originally, sa philosophy department, nag-master's degree yan dito sa philosophy. And then went on to psychology. Doon sa School of Economics, si Jose Pepe Encarnacion, ganun din, nag-philosophy, and then went into master's degree sa philosophy, and then went into economics as a science. Alright? Yung dalawa na yon, founder ng School of Economics at saka ng Psychology Department, examples ng mga tao na nakakaunawa ng halaga ng philosophy of science. Maliwanag na maliwanag sa kanilang mga isinusulat. Alright, so balik tayo dun sa tanong ko. Hopefully may mga sasagot dyan mamaya. But ang tanong ko nga ay, hindi nyo ba napapansin ang mga Pilipino kapag bumoboto, ang hanap ay mga sugo ng Diyos? Diyan nagsimula na maiba ang Western civilization. At diyan ang galing ang science. Sa mga Greeks, yung mga Greeks ay ibang-iba sa kanilang contemporaries. ang contemporaries ng mga Greeks, ang laging iniisip, if we look into the future, paano mo mahahanap yung future? If you look into the future, the only means of looking into the future, sabi ng mga contemporaries ng mga ancient Greeks, you need to talk to the gods. You need to hear the voices of the gods and the deities. Yan ang dating. For some strange reason, yung mga Greek kakaiba eh. Yung si Anaximander, for example, kabarkada ni Thales, pag-uusapan natin yan later, hindi ganyan mag-isip. When you look into the future, ang sinasabi nila, pwede mong gawin, asahan mo yung iyong pangangatwiran. Reasoning. In fact, for the Greeks, if you look at anyone's mind according to them, people's minds, the minds of individuals are full of thoughts. And these thoughts are expressed in some linguistic form. And these thoughts hang together as in a system. Sabi nga ni Pythagoras, may harmony. And yung harmony na yan yung harmony ng reasoning. Alam nyo si Pythagoras, wag magagalit ha, very sensitive. Parang the expression na LGBT yan. Yan si Pythagoras ay mahilig sa poetry, napaka-sensitive na tao apparently. At mahilig din sa mathematics. Pero mahilig sa poetry, mahilig sa mathematics, mahilig sa music. Isa siya sa mga sikat na lyric poet noong unang panahon. Sa mga tuwid, habang may poem na binabanggit, kumakanta. Anong nangyari? Si Pythagoras, meron siyang lyre. And apparently, excellent lyre player siya. And napansin niya, you pluck one string of the lyre, you get a tone. And you pluck another string with another length, you get a very different quality of tone. Pero ito yung magic. Magic ni Pythagoras. May kinalaman sa mga usapan natin. Ang magic ni Pythagoras, when you pluck several strings together of a lyre, you get a tonal value. Meron tunog na sabay-sabay mong hilahin yung say 3 or 4 na string. Meron tunog na hindi mo mapoproduce by using only a single string. Ang tawag dyan, chord. Ngayon, tawag natin chord. Galing dun sa kanilang expression ng chord ng panahon yun. Sabi ni Pythagoras, anong ibig sabihin yan? Inevitably, sabi ni Pythagoras, ayan ang influence ng pag-aaral nilang mathematics, pero saka na natin pag-usapan. Yang iba-ibang strings at iba-ibang tones, pagka tumunog ng sabay-sabay at may magandang kaaya-ayang tunog, sabi niya, meron niyang harmony. Pero pag minsan naman, ganito ang nangyayari. Yung 3 sabay-sabay or 4 na sabay-sabay na strings, pagka kinalabit mong sabay-sabay, pag minsan, imbis na maganda ang dating, tumataas ang balahibo ng iyong batok. Yung buhok mo sa batok, tumataas yung balahibo mo doon. Yung buhok mo dyan. Anong ibig sabihin? Walang harmony. Now, focus on the expression harmony. Itong mga ancient Greeks ay obsessively, compulsively focused sa pag-aaral ng harmony. Harmony among tones, harmony among numbers, harmony among the many different things of the universe. Ibang klase. So, anong resulta? Well, let's put it this way. If you see how your thoughts hang together in your mind, sabi ng mga Greek. Alright? If you see these things in your mind, a basket of things called mind, and what are the things in it called thoughts. If you see how they hang together in some harmony, sabi niya, sabi ni Pythagoras, sabi ng mga ibang nauna rin sa kanya, sabi rin ng mga ibang sumunod sa kanya, if you see how these things in our minds hang together under some harmony or system, then you'll be able to see the future. You'll be able to predict. That's what they're saying. Ibang klase. Kasi, by doing that, by saying that, they were actually saying, we can predict independent of the gods and the deities. Dependent only on, and we will now call it that, our capacity to reason. Sila lang yan. Nung panahon ng ancient Greece, nung panahon ng ancient Greek civilization, pinangunahan ng Athenian civilization, nung panahon nila, sa buong mundo, sila lamang ang sibilisasyon na naniniwala, men can have a vision of the future, independent of the gods and the deities, dependent only on their capacity to reason. Focusing on that capacity to reason, capacity to understand how our thoughts in our minds hang together. Yun. Yun yung dating ng usapan dyan eh. Okay, parang ganito. Simplify natin yung usapan, ha? Parang ganito. Alright? Hopefully, nakikita nyo yung ating screen, ha? Sabihan nyo nga ako, i-text nyo ako, o i-comment nyo ako kung hindi nyo nakikita yung screen, ha? Eto, parang ganito. Imagine your mind as what? A basket of goods. You have a thought, another 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 thought. All of these thoughts for the Greeks, they seem to think of them as connected to one another under some matrix or system or harmony. At yung gumamit ng term harmony, ayan na nga si Pythagoras. Bago kay Pythagoras, ay meron na silang pahapyaw na usapan yan, pero hindi pa maliwanag. Pagdating ni Pythagoras, maliwanag na maliwanag. Binabanggit na niya yan. Sinasabi niya yan, in our minds, we have thoughts. In particular, in his case, thoughts about numbers. And our thoughts have harmony. Yan. They are connected to one another under some harmony. Ito yung dating. Supposing you have one thought. What is that thought? Today, I have seen the sun rise from the east. Bakit? Eh, nakita mo eh. And seeing the sun rise from the east, you now have this sentence. The sun has risen from the east. And now you embed that sentence in your memory as a thought. So, you have one thought, the sun has risen from the east. And then guess what happens? You now remember, yesterday, the sun has also risen from the east. In fact, you have two thoughts in your mind indicating the sun has risen from the east. And then, you have another thought. Wait, the day before yesterday, I know the sun has risen from the east. That's in your memory. And you realize that in fact, there are so many of these thoughts in your mind indicating that the sun has risen from the east. And they are for some reason connected to one another. They are all connected to one another. How are they connected? Well, one, as a matter of connection, they have the same pattern. Two, they are connected to one another in a way that there is no counter instance to any one of them. There has never been, as you notice, given your capacity to reason, there has never been a single day when the sun has not risen from the east. In fact, you have never seen the sun rise from the south or the north or the west, always from the east. So, they're all connected to one another by some pattern. Walang counter instance. What other pattern? Whenever the sun rises, it rises from the east. So now, out of all of this, as a rule, you now have another thought. What is that thought? As a rule, all right, sulat natin, as a rule, whenever the sun rises, it rises from the east. You know that. Hindi nyo kailangang magbasa ng academic journal. Hindi nyo kailangang umattend ng komperensya para malaman yan. Tama? Yan. Yan ang gusto nating sabihin. So, anong gusto nating sabihin? Dahil sa ating capacity to reason, sabi ng mga Greeks, we know rules like this. Ano pa yung isang rule? A square plus B square equals C square. At kung ano-anong mga rules. And guess what? Because you know this rule, then you can say, if tomorrow the sun rises, another thought. If tomorrow the sun rises, it will rise from the east. Ayan ngayon ang nangyari. Yang mga ancient Greeks, very unique mag-isip. Sinasabi nila, using your capacity to reason, you can actually foresee the future. And you foresee the future independent of the gods and the deities. And even better, they were saying independent of the gods and the deities, depending only on our capacity to reason. Kaya, napaka-interesante sa atin ng mga Greeks. Kaya homework ninyo yan. Unang-unang homework, pag-aaralan natin, paano nangyari na one, na-invento ang democracy ng mga ancient Greeks, and two, na-invento nila ang philosophy. And at the very center ng pag-aaral ng philosophy, yan ang pag-aaral ng reasoning. And sa pag-aaral ng reasoning, diyan lumabas yung pag-aaral ng geometry, diyan lumabas ang pag-aaral ng physics, diyan lumabas ang pag-aaral ng biology. You know, it was the ancient Greeks who have invented physics as a discipline. They gave it a name. Yung mga ancient Greeks ang umimbento ng biology, they gave it a name. Yung mga ancient Greeks ang umimbento ng logic, they gave it a name. In their time, ancient Greece, they knew the earth was round. They in fact, knew how big the earth was. At the circumference, they knew that it was around 25,000 nautical miles. Alam nila. Walang satellite survey. Walang satellite camera. Alright? Ganun sila kagaling. And out of their tradition has come what we today call science. So, we begin our adventure with the adventures of the ancient Greeks. Please read. Marami tayong mapupulot dyan. Hindi aksidente na ang mga building natin ay inspired by the ancient Greeks. Diyan lang naman sa College of Science, ang inspiration nila si Mr. Spock. Kaya ang kanilang structure dyan ay mukhang spaceship ni Mr. Spock. Ay huwag sana nating kalimutan. Kung alam natin kung saan tayo nanggaling, makikita nating mas mahusay kung saan tayo papunta. Alright? Pag-uusapan natin uli yan. For the moment, itong ginawa natin, practice lamang. Pakibasa ng ating course pack, pakitingin yung ating course objective at class rules. Because pag nagsimula tayo, kabit-kabit na yan. Yung ating mga pag-uusapan, nakalagay dyan kung sino-sino yung mga authors. Huwag mag-alala, 100% ng authors na i-require ko reading at makikita nyo naman By the way, teka, let me show you. Upo muna ako para maabot ko ito. Nakalimutan ko pala. Kailangan ipakita ko sa inyo yung ating mga readings Huwag kayong matatakot dyan. Yung ating mga readings, papakita ko sa inyo, marami. Alright, nasa na yun? Ito, 23. Oh my God! Marami dyan sa 23, nandyan naman sa ating mga text material resource. Pero yung wala dyan, 12 lang yan eh. 23 yung requirement. Yung wala doon sa ating available sa net, ako magbibigay. 100% nito, ibibigay ko sa inyo, ha? So, wag mag-alala. Okay? At saka, mukha lamang mahirap basahin yung mga sinulat nila, pero sa totoo lang, at the very bottom, ay napakasimple. Parang mga bunches of numbers na mukhang very complicated, pero in some way, pwede niyong gawa ng algorithm, lalabas, simple lang naman pala. Alright? So, balik tayo dito sa ating usapan. Ay, teka, nakita nyo ba yun? Yung pinakita ko, ulitin natin. Yan, ha? Okay? 23. Out of the 23 readings natin, makikita nyo yan dito sa text material natin na binigay. Text resource, nandyan yan. Huwag mag-alala. Yung 12 nandyan at doon sa hindi kasama sa 12, ako magbibigay. Alright? Yung hindi kasama sa 12, ako magbibigay. Huwag mag-alala. Alright. So, hindi ko na uubusin lahat ng oras ninyo at baka may klase pa kayo mamaya. Hanggang dito tayo. Alright? Kung meron kayong mga gustong idagdag na comment or criticism or whatever is in your mind na may kinalaman dito sa usapan natin, bring it on. Alright? Hindi naman ako katulad ni Duterte na nasabihan lang na pagkatas tampo na, mamaya sisipain na yung Rappler. Tapos nasabihan lang ng kung mamaya sisipain na yung ABS-CBN. Hindi naman ako ganun. Sanay ako dito sa UP. Dito sa UP, in a way, makakapal ang mukha natin. Bakit? Sanay tayo sa exchanges of ideas at sanay tayong masabihan na mali ka. Importante yan sa science. Importante yan sa artificial intelligence. Promise, maintindihan nyo at the end of the course. Alright? Tingnan lang natin, huling-huli na. Kung merong importanteng comment kayo na ibinigay dito sa atin, alright? Sir, napansin ko na hinahanap nila yung mga sikat na kandidato. Tama! Ay bakit nga sikat? Kasi mga sugo nga daw ng Diyos eh. Alright? Agree po kay Miss Season and Mr. Villar. People look for what's recognizable, what pops out to them. Alright? Kung mas sugo ng Diyos, hanap nila. Oo nga. Si Miss Loberes, I don't think people necessarily vote for people you consider sugo ng Diyos. But many people have the tendency to vote for candidates they are familiar with. Name recall. Tama. Name recall nga naman. Oo nga. Sa mga katuwid, dito sa mga nabasa ko so far, pero sasagutin ko kayo magbibigay ako ng comment mamaya-maya. Bottom line is, hindi nila hinahanap yung ugali ng mga Greeks. Na hahanapin nila yung mahusay mga tuwiran. By the way, pag sinabi kong hinahanap ng mga Greeks, hindi all the time. Kasi dumating din ang pagkakataon, yung mga Greeks ay tinalikuran din nila yung kanilang tradition ng democracy. Makikita nyo yan doon sa ating audiovisual material. Yung audiovisual material natin about the Greeks, hindi muna natin papanoorin. Alright? Papanoorin natin after makapag-diskusyon na tayo. Alright? Okay. So, hopefully, magbigay kayo ng comment doon sa YouTube comments or comment dyan sa ating Google Classroom or magpadala kayo ng email sa akin or i-text nyo ako. Ngayon, pakisabi doon sa hindi nakapanood sa atin or doon sa mga hindi nakasama dyan sa atin sa diskusyon natin ngayon via our Google Classroom, please get in touch with me. Nasa inyo naman ang aking telephone number. Pwede nyo i-text. And then, nandiyan sa inyo ang aking lahat ng aking emails. 3 emails ko na nga, alam ninyo. Alright? So, get in touch with me. Yung mga nahuli sa pagpasok ng discussion, available for the next 7 days yung ating lecture today. So, you can review them using Google Broadcast. Okay. Magandang hapon po. Salamat sa participation ninyo. Huwag madadala. Sige. Bye-bye.